With PrintMatics, it's easy to streamline the quote, order, and production process. To start a quote, simply log on to PrintMatics and type the part of that customer name or other identifier like a phone number, a contact name, or city. The program is intuitive enough to call up that customer or a variation if several customers matching that description exist. The customer file shows all information relevant to the order, including an internal customer rating. You can assign groupings to different customers that allow alternate pricing or services as well. All of these details can be adjusted on the fly once you have the customer on the phone. The PrintMatics application is comprised of a set of templates that streamline the order process and avoid time-consuming data entry. The template is pre-programmed to recognize the different steps required to start a job. Each step has specific questions for the client, as well as internal-facing notes for your production staff who receive the data as pop-ups as they move through each step of the production process. For example, a retractable banner might require an image to be prepared in pre-press, a print to be made, a roll-up assembly attaching the print to the hardware, the actual sales of the hardware out of your inventory, and shipping as a last step. Each of these steps are pre-programmed. Should an image be so complicated that you require special labor to handle it, the price will be automatically adjusted. One key difference with the PrintMatics solution is the level of detail you can specify in pre-programming that makes your quote process faster as well as more accurate. The next step is printing, which starts with defaults for material, media, printing equipment, and mode of printing. If the customer requires a higher quality print, it's easy to change it on the fly. Need to add expedited shipping? Simply change the shipping and PrintMatics will automatically adjust the price. With just a few clicks, your team can generate flawless quotes, translate approved quotes to orders, and ensure the best handling of each job as it moves through your queue. To learn more about the PrintMatics solution, schedule a demo today. One of the strongest features of PrintMatics workflow software is its sales approval system. First, management can easily set approval parameters for all sales reps by going to Approval Rules. You can also tailor rules for individual sales reps. For Alex, for example, he needs to meet a minimum margin of 70%, and if the order is more than $2,000, it will need to be approved by management. With the approval rules set, we can start a quote. Select the customer. View who is assigned to this customer, and begin the order. Let's create a quote for a direct print 3 copies at 30 by 70 inches. Adjust the line items accordingly. And submit. We can see that this quote comes in below cost and requires approval. By clicking on the cost estimation details, we can see that the margin is too low for automatic approval. This can be resolved by changing the per item price, which then removes the requirement for approval, or by submitting the quote as is for approval. The management team will then see it in the quote approval screen, which lists all quotes needing approval and their respective margins. To get more details, simply click into an order and view the exact cost analysis information in summary and by line item. For each line item, you can click on the cost and view details on overhead, labor, consumables, material, and equipment costs. Once a sales manager approves a quote, the system generates an email notifying the sales rep. Now, when the sales rep views the quote, they will see it has been approved. Sales quote approval, just one of the many ways PrintMatics is creating the future of workflow. PrintMatics Intelligent Substrate Layout feature. In today's competitive marketplace, accurate information on product cost and selling price is critical. And one of the biggest components in large format print costs is the substrate material. We designed PrintMatics with an intelligent substrate layout feature to manage costs more easily. Here we have 2 estimates. One is for a direct print with 1 original and 50 units at 24 by 48 inches on 1/2-inch white foam core. The second is identical, except the width has been increased to 25 inches. On the sales quote screen, we can clearly see the difference in cost between these 2 estimates. By clicking on Sales Quote Estimation Analysis, PrintMatics gives clear insight into each cost component from price to cost to totals. Simply click on the cost component of each line item to get specific details. For example, on our first estimate, we can see the number of substrates required is 13. This is the case whether they are laid out in landscape or portrait format. For the second estimate on a wider print, we can see that 17 substrates are required, so that's where the difference in pricing is coming from. PrintMatics tells us clearly that landscape is preferred, as portrait would require 8 additional substrates. Keep your prices competitive and your costs low with intelligent substrate layout from PrintMatics, the future of workflow. Easy customer approval with PrintMatics. PrintMatics Customer Approval feature lets you solicit customer approval and move approved jobs into print production. As you create an order, PrintMatics software will guide you through the file prep, materials selection, cut, and packing selection. When an order is submitted, print nodes are automatically notified about the job. Once the file has been downloaded, the system moves the project to file prep. Once your proof is prepared, simply attach it to the order to get customer approval. The image file is now part of this order, and you can see it hot-linked in the customer document. Return to the Prepare Order screen and simply click Request Customer Approval. PrintMatics automatically generates an email template with all the order details, the order ID, the production description, the customer contacts, and the subject line pre-loaded. You can also enter another email address. Use the pre-worded message or write your own. Attach the desired images. Then, simply hit Send. When you return to the Prepare Order screen, you will see a notification icon on the right that customer approval is pending. By clicking on the notification icon, you can request another approval or review the information that was sent to the customer. When your customer approves the order, you will see the notification icon change to a check mark, which means it's ready to leave file prep and move on to print. The customer approval feature is just one of the many ways PrintMatics is creating the future of workflow. The PrintMatics material planning feature makes it easy to optimize your inventory. It also helps generate purchase orders, bills of materials, and other associated orders. In the production screen, click on Material Planning and set your parameters to run a report. Running this report allows you to see all the materials required for open jobs in the system. Here you can easily review details on the inventory you've sold, what remains in stock, and what you need to order. You can run this report for all orders existing in a period of time in production, so you can get a bill of materials for everything that the shop needs. For example, on a job involving retractable banners, the report shows what has been sold to date, the amount that you have in inventory, and that no orders are required at this time. In contrast, an order for Duratex roll shows square feet sold, current inventory levels, what has already been ordered, and the amount needed to order to cover open jobs. You can also group this report by vendor for instant insight into inventory needs by vendor. Simple material planning is just one of the great features rolled into PrintMatics software. Production managers will love our latest feature, dynamic prioritization. Production throughput for each piece of equipment is entered automatically into PrintMatics during equipment setup. After establishing shift information for each production area or department, PrintMatics provides a transparent view into all of your capacity. Start by going to the Tools menu and clicking on Production, and then Plan. Here you can see a list of all open orders. Clicking on any order will show you full details. You can also add notes in this view. The Plan view shows us the project, the node or department it's assigned to, when it was received, the projected finish date, and the date the customer expects to receive it. In this clear view, it's easy to see which items are behind schedule. By clicking on View Edit Plan, we can see every job that needs to be done for every node. It can also easily be sorted to show only at one specific department. The calendar features intuitive drag-and-drop functionality that takes the complexity out of rescheduling. It also uses color coding to show status more clearly. In the weekly view, we can sort by customer, also with drag-and-drop functionality. Simply select a job number from the pull-down menu, and you can view specific jobs from that customer. If you make changes to the schedule, just click Save and you can review a summary of the changes you made. Click Apply Changes to approve. Back in the Plan view, we can see several jobs that were scheduled to be done in the previous week but are still outstanding. Here is where PrintMatics really sets itself apart. To reschedule all of your jobs in order to prioritize outstanding items, simply click Schedule All, and in less than a minute, the tool will automatically optimize the schedule. Dynamic prioritization from PrintMatics, the future of workflow.